Oops.
Come on.
2, 1.
Welcome, sports fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the sports nerd joins forces with 3 charismatic co-hosts or a select group of sports nerds with attitude that are known in Nerd Nation as the Rampant. We are 4 of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Nerds for a Sunday night, April 10th. I am joined by I'm joined by my co-host as
Hey,
usual,
Wanda.
Mr. Eliot Big E Lamba, John G. Olson.
Wanda's in the house.
Ken Costello will not be with us this evening, but we will still travel on, and John's going to leave early. So we're probably going to have a short show, but that's okay.
Ken Kniff from Connecticut?
No, not Ken Kniff from Connecticut. My man.
Did you get that reference or no? You don't.
No, I did not get that reference.
Okay.
Low-cost Ken. Costello.
That's an old Eminem joke.
Oh, it's an old Eminem joke.
Ken
The only
Kniff
Eminem
from
song
Connecticut.
I know is the one that he did for the movie. So that's all I know. Anyway,
I still say he's licking his wounds over the Red Sox losing the first 2 games.
I think so too.
He's planning his trip to New York for the parade, so it's all good. Just like Clarky.
Yeah, there you go.
Just like Clarky. Anyway, guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's okay. Eliot, glad to have you back this week. You were out last week, and John, glad to see you're not mobile for a change. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hi.
What up, Chris?
Because Chris showed, because I just promoted this show in the CTP Telegram because I know someone's not going to do it.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I'll do it.
It's the same old dance, same old song and dance.
This guy.
He had a week off too, didn't he?
I know he had a week off to prep for it.
No. I did promote more than usual this week. Don't start. Okay, give
Would
me
you
some
put up
credit.
2 posts instead of 1?
I know. Instead of 1, he put up 2.
Nice. Thank you very
Better
much.
than 1.
Yes, Chris, we are on Vim. Let me give you.
I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs.
Bim.
Chris, let me give you the Vim link. Here you go.
The Vim link.
There it is. You got it. And yes, we are on
But
Vim.
you make sure you're
I'm watching
live,
the feed, and I did post a hive. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm making sure because if
yes, I did. I do that every week now, believe it or not.
I don't see you on Hive, sir.
Give me a second.
You have to go and click post to Hive at the bottom of Vim.
Go. Did I? Oh man, it logged me out. Son of a bitch.
Some of my bitch.
It logged me out.
It logged you out.
It logged me out. Vim logged me out. Hang on.
Well,
go back to that.
No, you're live. You are live. All you got to do now is just press.
I pressed post to Hive. It did. I just did.
All you got to do is click post to Hive, and then it'll show
I
up
just
on
did that.
Hive.
Okay, yeah, we're good. We're there. Very good.
Yeah, it's not clicked yet. You just got to let it show up, and it'll.
Okay.
There it is. Now it's there. There.
Okay.
It's up now.
I got some good votes on when I do that. So it gets a good vote on the show. Yeah.
Bro, did you see the comment that we had? Like there was someone's like, "Oh my gosh, I was looking for more football content on Hive. I'm so pumped up that you guys are doing this." I'm like, yeah, if only the freaking host of the show would freaking pay attention to the community on Hive, everything would be great.
Well.
Anyways, I got some
announcements. Try it now, Chris. See if it works.
I have an announcement. So
NBA 2020. I'm assuming that's you, Chris. Go ahead.
Yes,
that's
what
is it, John? Do you have an announcement?
Yeah. So last week I was driving in the middle of nowhere, Alberta, because the family is looking at a compound, let's say, to move into. So we're looking at multi-generational.
Waco, Texas.
No, not Waco, Texas, man. I'm just, relax, okay? It's just a house. We're looking for a house in the middle of
moving
nowhere.
into. Come on, now.
That sounds like prison talk.
It's a house in the middle of nowhere, and it looks like the seller has accepted our offer. So hopefully, in the next month and a half or 2 months, I'll be out of this place that I'm in, and I'll be in my forever home. So there you go.
Okay. And how does your wife kind of handle being out in the country? I know she didn't do so well in Newfoundland.
Well, Newfoundland's is way East Coast, like middle of the ocean. Here we're only like an hour and a half from the city, so it's not, it's.
Is there anything in between you, the compound, and Edmonton, or is it all?
Well, there's a town right close, like 5 minutes from the house. There's a major town. It's got everything.
You're not totally out.
Hopefully, the real estate market up in your area is better than what is down here.
Yes.
Well, it is because oil is booming, and whenever oil booms, that's when this province does really good. But it's more just. I don't want to be in a city anymore. My wife doesn't want to be in a city. Her family doesn't want to be in a city. So it's like,
well, that's why you moved out east in the first place, because you were tired of the city to begin with.
Yeah. I loved it out there. It was perfect. It was great. But my wife,
but it was too far out in the boondocks for the wife.
Well, and her family wasn't
far away
right?
from the family, right?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway, so if my life is a little chaotic over the next, well, not now, but in a month from now, that's why. So just
the seller offered. I mean, the seller accepted your offer, which is good.
Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming you're not moving before the draft.
No, and it's not till the middle of May that the closing date is.
Middle of May.
So, and we won't move probably till the end of May. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's good. Congratulations, John.
Thank you. I'm very happy.
Doubt.
So
no doubt.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in the middle of the boondocks.
Are the in-laws going to be living on the compound with you? Or
yes, we'll all be in the same compound. Yes,
that's the same situation as my sister has with my folks, because they,
dude, it's multi-generational, and I want my kids growing up around their grandparents.
Wrap my head around that compound stuff.
It's not compound. It's just I'm just joking around.
Well, it's probably a house with a mother-in-law type house on the side.
Yes, and it's a big acreage. Like there's lots of acres, but it's out in the middle of nowhere, so it's not as expensive as say if you'd get something 20 minutes from Edmonton.
Right.
20 minutes from Edmonton, you're looking at $1 million.
Yeah, it's similar to what my folks' situation is. My mother and my stepfather live in a mother-in-law type house from the main house where my sister and her daughter live. Perfect. My stepsister basically and my niece. And my mom and dad are retired. They retired the same year I moved into this apartment, which was in 2016. Yes, 2016. So they've been retired for 6 years, and they've been living up there in Madison, out in the boondocks, out in the middle of Egypt.
Bro,
in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, no. The middle of nowhere in America is the Plain States. Okay.
No. This town is in the middle of nowhere. Believe me.
You're anywhere in the East Coast. You're like 20 minutes from a major city.
This one, they're about 80, 90 miles from a major city. So yeah, but still, I mean, they still can go to.
I digress. Anyways, let's talk sports, because that was enough of John's life.
Yeah, well, again, congratulations, Mr. Olson. I'm glad you're moving and getting into a good situation. You seem happy about it.
I'm very thrilled about it,
and I'm sure the in-laws are going to help with the mortgage payment and all that crap. So, to be determined.
We still got to figure all that out. Let's just say that it's a lot more affordable to do this than staying in this little tiny tea box of a home. We're in the middle of the city here.
Well, you're used to a bigger house anyway from when you were in Edmonton before. So.
Well, it's not the big. It's not the size of the house, bro. I'm from. No. I've lived in apartments basically my entire life. Okay?
Yeah, me too.
The whole point of it is that I just want you, when you're out of the city, your neighbor is a mile away, not like right beside you. Right. And that's what we don't want anymore. We don't want to be just because we're all bundled up, like it's.
Yep. I got you. You feel you feel you feel like the walls are
filled with love. It's great. It's wonderful.
Yes. Okay, let's talk some sports.
Do your stupid Masters talk.
No, we're gonna hold
Let's get that out of the way first.
Get that out of the way so we can talk about real sports.
Now we have a chance to revive.
Yeah, well, I want to get the sad news out of the way first. Dwayne Haskins was killed yesterday in a car, and
that's a freaking.
Apparently, he had run out of gas and was walking along a highway, which 595, which is like a branch off of 95 in South Florida.
Yeah.
In Fort Lauderdale. It was near the airport. He had stopped because he ran out of gas, and he was walking along the highway and got hit apparently by a dump truck.
But wait a minute, what was this dump truck doing that it didn't?
I don't know.
You see, that's the whole thing. I just don't see how that isn't an at fault type of situation.
Well, they are actually investigating it as a vehicular homicide.
That's a small consolation for his family, but if that's the case, yeah.
Okay. So they are investigating it as a vehicular homicide. He was declared dead on the scene. This is, Eliot, you mentioned in the pregame. I will take back every bad thing I ever said about Dwayne Haskins after finding out about what kind of person he was, especially.
Yeah.
He was a family man. He was very he was a great teammate in that.
This is the thing. Put an asterisk beside man. He was a kid.
Yeah, he was
like 24
years old.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, his birthday was in early May. So yeah, he was going to be 25.
What kills me about this is, and I saw a lot of social media stuff about this, is that we put these athlete guys on like this other tier of human beings, but they're human beings and
right.
they're regular dudes, and they go through stuff, and this guy getting torn down his career. Already, and then when he passes away, Schefter does that thing.
Schefter was a dumbass with his post. Dude,
Schefter's got this ego thing going.
He's got this history of doing this inconsiderate stuff on his tweets too.
And then he just got an extension too.
Yeah, he just got an extension, right? And I don't get it, man. I just like the dude passed away. It's like just
why are you bringing up the fact that he struggled to make the rock? What are you doing? What are you doing? Who cares about it? The man was killed.
I know.
He died tragically at 24 years old. What are you doing? Bringing up his career?
Bro.
And it wasn't his fault he was drafted by Washington. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, and he was Clarky, good idea. Boycott Schefter. I may boycott Schefter. I don't know. But it's after seeing and hearing comments from his teammates, both from the Washington franchise to the Pittsburgh franchise to the Buckeyes.
Well, they said he was salt of the earth
by everybody.
They was basically claiming he was salt of the earth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A great person, cared about everybody, made everybody smile.
Yep.
Who was it? TJ Watt said the minute he walked in for the first time, he knew this guy had life in him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's tragic. I know they put a big spotlight on it because he's a sports figure. But if that was to happen to anybody, it's tragic.
Yes,
it's
doesn't
just
matter who it is.
terrible. Correct. My son was killed by
Jamal,
a car.
by the way, guys. Jamal, we got to get you back on the Facebook list. Hang on a second. Let me get that link for you.
My son was killed by a car when he was 15.
That's insane, dude.
What's that?
My son. My
Your
oldest son.
Okay, your oldest son.
He was killed. He was killed by a motor vehicle at the age of 15.
Jamal, click that link. I just posted it in Facebook. Click that link to get your name back.
That was back in 1994.
Uh-huh.
And it's freaking tragic. It leaves a scar that will never heal and a wound that will never close.
Right.
And when something like that happens, it kind of reopens the wound for me.
Well, and there's a quote from The Two Towers by the King of Rohan. Parents should not have to bury their children.
Oh, hell no.
Jamal, yes, it did work. Thank you very much. Parents should not have to bury their children. And he was talking about his son that was killed in battle, of course, because it's the Lord of the Rings trilogy, no doubt. But and that's the way we all feel. I'm sure John feels the same way. My son will be 28 years old in 4 days. I don't want him to. I don't want to outlive my son, despite the fact that we're estranged. He doesn't talk to me, and we don't talk. I don't care. That's my child.
It doesn't matter, dude.
That's my child. You know what I'm saying? And Dwayne Haskins now has to be buried by his parents, and that's just
I can empathize with them as a parent.
Yes.
because it is the hardest thing that you're ever gonna. My mom went through it when my brother was killed.
Yeah.
You know, my mom spent a little bit of time in a psycho ward because
Right.
she just lost it. She went berserk. You know,
Mm.
my dad had just finished having quadruple bypass heart surgery when that happened, and so you know it was a tough time. It was hard losing my brother. I was 20 at the time, and but then when I lost my son, that was the hardest thing of all. I don't think that there's anybody else I can lose in my life now besides my other children that would hit me as
Well,
hard.
it also causes you to bring Mariano even closer into you and protect him even more.
Oh, he's got a cocoon around him.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine.
And my other children, I mean, I know they're thousands of miles away and distant, and we don't communicate as much as we probably should. But, you know, I always hope and pray
They are safe.
that God and my oldest son looks over them, watches over them.
Right.
You know.
But yeah, I mean, it's really sad, and it's unfortunate that you know, that I mean, another one was Gil Brandt. Did you guys hear or see the comments he made about him as well? Gil Brandt was just
Gil Brandt's an idiot.
Gil Brandt's an old man, out of touch, from old school, and his comments were just totally out of line. You know, what's
Isn't
he
he
doing?
the Cowboys organization?
Yes, he was Cowboys organization.
Exactly.
Correct.
They're known for having no class when it comes to talking about
no
this,
offense,
that,
Ken.
and the other.
Ken, if you're watching, no offense.
No offense, but
right.
I mean, it is what it is. And
right. Well, again, Gil Brandt is retro back to the old school days of the NFL, 70s and 80s and stuff, but it doesn't excuse his comments about what he said about Dwayne Haskins. He did issue an apology, but it's out there. Who cares? You know, we got the receipts. It's out there. Same with Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter, shortly, you know, I mean, about an hour after he posted his original comments, his original notification, he reposted it and took out the struggling comment of his tweet. Doesn't change the matter. We got the receipts, Schefter. We know what you did.
Bottom line, to this day, nobody's figured out how to put the toothpaste back in the tube. So
no, you can't do it. Not with today's.
It's just not happening.
Not with today's social media. You can't put the toothpaste. If you put it out there, it's going to be out there forever. It doesn't matter.
Open mouth, insert foot. Foot does not leave.
Correct.
It stays right where it's at.
Correct.
You know, and nobody will let you forget it either. That's another thing.
No.
You know, once you put yourself out there like that, it's like right now there's probably a lot of anti-Schefter people. I know there's most likely a lot of anti-Gil Brandt people. You know what I'm saying? But this is what happens when
you got to remember too that a lot, like I'm not saying this situation, but sports media in general, like Nick Wright, for example, says the stupidest things just for reactions. And I'm not saying what they say.
So is Colin Cowherd too.
Shock jocks.
Yeah, but Colin Cowherd's a Bills Mafia fan, so we are not going to slander Colin or Adam Shine. Okay, Shine and Cowherd are on the Bills bandwagon. So
how about Stephen A. Smith? Can we slander Stephen A. Smith? Can we?
Yeah, he can piss off. Man.
Cowherd's a dick.
Yeah, he is.
I like him.
He's had a hard on.
That's probably why you like him, because he's a dick.
I like him.
He's had a hang up about Baker Mayfield the last 4 years. Trust me, he's like obsessed with Baker Mayfield, and it's you know, either praising him or bashing him, one of the two.
Is Baker still on the Browns roster?
Yes. Technically, he's still on the Browns roster. Yes,
bro. They're gonna trade him like draft night or something, man. Like, you know, for
like a sixth
round pick.
Honestly, I don't know if they can trade him.
I see him going to Seattle. Believe it or not, I do see that. I can see
That's
that happen.
Probably the best place for him. But that being said, Seattle's a freaking disaster. So it's not like
they're going to be last in that division next year.
They put Metcalf and or Lockett on the block.
Well, you know what? We'll give you Baker Mayfield and a draft pick for Lockett or DK.
Or Metcalf. Yeah, they're going to want a lot more than that for Metcalf.
We'll see. Anyway, moving on. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Gone too soon. It's a whole. It's very sad because and
South Florida, baby. Florida is just the accident capital of the country, or maybe
correct.
the world.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you hear more about
Well,
traffic shit.
it's nothing but city from South Beach to the Cape Kennedy. It's basically that's what it is. It's nothing but hotels and condos, and it's brutal. Anyway, moving on. The NBA. I mean, that's actually John. Let's go ahead with your Bills propaganda.
Oh,
Stefan
sorry.
Diggs signs a new
Oh,
contract.
wait a minute. I thought we were
extension.
talking about Masters first.
Yeah, we do
No.
a Masters tour? No.
Oh, you know what? Let's get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way.
Please,
All
please.
right.
Because
All
at
right,
least
so
this
let-
way I
let-
have
let
a chance
me-
to
let me-
revive and once I
Without
fall
Ken being
asleep.
here, I get to bore my co-host with.
It's going to be a short, boring session because
Yeah,
we're
it's
at
gonna be-
time waits for no
they're going
man.
to get bored with me talking about PGA golf.
Dude, like this is the sports nerd, not the game nerd.
Well,
You
no,
know.
I understand that, but
The
as you all
turd
know,
nerd.
I'm a big fan of the
The turd
PGA
nerd.
Tour, especially and specifically the Masters, each and every April, because
Well,
I
isn't it
take
like the
that
Super
entire
Bowl?
week.
Isn't
I
that
take
like the
that
Super Bowl of golf?
It is kind of like the Super Bowl of golf, yes. I take that entire week off every year, as you know, and as I mentioned last week. I take this week off every single year just so I can absorb myself into the finest tournament on the PGA Tour, which is the Masters from Augusta National in Augusta, Georgia. This year saw the return of Tiger Woods to the Masters after getting involved in a self-inflicted car crash 14 months ago, in which he nearly lost his right leg. They nearly amputated his leg, could have cost him his life. For those that don't know the perspective as far as being able to play 72 holes at Augusta National 14 months after almost losing that leg, the elevation changes at Augusta National are extensive.
The walking alone.
The walking alone puts a lot of pressure on your legs and your back, and we all
And that's
know,
probably why he faded from round to round.
Yes, as it went on, it affected him. He was in contention going into the weekend at +1, but he shot back-to-back 78s to take himself out of contention, and it's because of his physical.
Look, the win for Tiger was the fact that he was able to play.
Exactly. And that's my big thing. The win for Tiger was the fact that he was able to play 72 holes, walk that course for over a course of 4 days straight, and
Not to mention all the hoopla and the media, stuff, and he's been under the microscope, I'm sure. I mean, not only that, but he's doing that walking and
with an obvious limp, by the way. He was walking with an obvious limp the whole week.
But besides that, when he wasn't on the course, he was going through his daily rehab,
which included a lot of ice, including ice baths.
Yeah. So
to bring the swelling down and to
kudos to Tiger for making what is I believe a miraculous comeback from what he went through.
It was very inspirational. I mean, it doesn't matter how he finished. The fact that he first of all made the cut was improbable and amazing.
And he's already committed to the next.
He's committed to the British Open, to the Open Championship in St. Andrews. The reason why he's going is because it's St. Andrews. Now, St. Andrews is the total opposite of Augusta National. It's a flat track. It's flat. So it'll be a lot easier for him to walk that course.
Isn't it windy as hell out there, though?
It does get windy as hell, and also could, the weather will be an issue as well as far as rain, whatever's going on there. It's July in northern England. Anything can happen. So, but he has committed to the Open Championship in July. He has not committed to any other tournaments between now and then. He would like to play the PGA Championship next month. on a track he's won before. I forget the name of the course, but he has won before on that. He hasn't committed anything else. He did announce today that he will be playing the Open Championship in July at St. Andrews, which is good for golf.
Well, you know what's good for him? One of his freaking golf clubs sold for over $5 million.
The irons he used when he got the Tiger Slam.
It was the 681T iron that sold for
the irons he used when he earned what's called the Tiger Slam, meaning holding all 4 majors at once.
Yeah. He did that in a row too, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did it in a row, but it wasn't the same calendar year.
No.
4 in a row. But it was
the two at the tail end of one year and 2 at the beginning of the next. I don't know a lot about golf, but I know.
Actually, it was 3 at the tail end, and then the master. When he won the Masters the following year is when he got the Tiger Slam. I think it was 2002, if I'm not mistaken, 2001, 2002. It wasn't 2005. It was because that was not.
Dude, he totally crushed the record for the most expensive sold item in golf.
$5 million it sold for.
5.156. The biggest one before that was Horton Smith in 2013. His green jacket sold for $682,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was the biggest until 5. And I mean, damn. First of all, who paid that? Who paid 5? Over
I don't know who bought it. Yeah, I think it was
probably the same jackass that bought the Tom Brady last.
Didn't Tom Brady offer him like some stuff for
I think Brady gave him some Bitcoin, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, because that is kind of foul, man.
Yeah.
But how about Peyton Manning asking back for all the gifts he gave Tom Brady?
Yeah. I saw that. Yes. I want the gifts back that I gave you.
I want my shit back, man.
Quote unquote retired. Other notes on the Masters besides Tiger. First of all, congratulations to Scotty Scheffler for winning the Masters.
Some dude I've never heard
2 months
of.
ago.
Me either.
You know what I mean? Like some guy that no one's like.
You know what?
You'll probably never hear of him again.
No, he's like that Canadian schmuck that won it like 20 years ago. Mike Weir. He won it once, and that was it.
There's been times where guys that win the Masters, you never hear from them again.
Like Zach Johnson. Oh, no, Zach Johnson's an exception because he won a British Open too. But no,
who's Zach Johnson?
Yeah. Scotty Scheffler, nobody knew 2 months ago because he hadn't won on the PGA Tour.
So is that good?
Won 3 out of his last 6 starts. Going into the Masters, he was actually ranked number 1 in the world. So he won as number 1 in the world.
What happened to Vijay Singh? That's what I want to know. Like, where are these guys that actually have a name?
Vijay Singh is old and he's a dick.
And so why did Phil kick the Masters to the curb?
Yeah.
Because Phil's a dumbass. That's why.
Where's Mickelson? Like, these are the guys. Who are these no-name guys winning this? This is supposed to be the Super Bowl. It's like having a couple of CFL teams.
See, John, this is the point in time.
It's like the Tampa Bay.
That the next generation is taking over a sport. Kind of like when.
Wait, time out. This is a game that you could basically play until you're a freaking geriatric. Okay, how is the new generation taking over?
And they do, because they have a seniors tour as well.
That's what I mean. Like, this is the only sport that you can play from the time you learn it till the time you're in the grave.
Yes, at 55 years old, soon to be 56.
Where's Ben Hogan?
Yeah, Ben Hogan
could win it if your game was good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Ben Hogan can still play even though he's dead, right? Yeah, okay, Clarky, whatever.
Well, at least they know him more than they know Scotty Scheffler.
Bro, I will clown this game till I'm blue in the face because, like, it's just to me, it's a game.
You can't appreciate it because you've never played it.
I've played golf.
Really?
I get it. It's a fun game to play. Okay. Watching it, like, gag me with a pitchfork and call me Susie. Like, it's like, can I watch grass grow? That would the backdrop.
I'd actually rather watch tennis, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, because tennis has got some. And when Serena or Venus hits it, it's
I'm also Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal and those guys.
Right.
It's always exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
This is. I'm sorry, it's not a sport. It's a game.
Who's
Thank you
echoing?
for coming to my
Is it
TED
me or
Talk.
somebody else?
What's that, sir?
Who's echoing?
It's not me, because if I'm talking, it's echoing. It's coming through one of your guys' speakers.
Anyway, either way, it doesn't matter.
Smart. Doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm glad you had a good week. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
That's all that matters.
I enjoy it every year.
So don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. I'll never understand it. The obsession with watching it.
Right.
I get playing it. Totally get playing it.
Yeah.
Great. Tons of fun.
Yep.
Mini golf is
Even if you suck, it's a lot of fun to play.
Mini golf is cool.
Mini golf is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they need to have.
Couple
mini masters.
Couple of mentions. Cameron Smith, who won the Tournament Players 2-1 TPC at Sawgrass last month, fell apart at number 12, like most people will fall apart at number 12 on Augusta. At number 3, it's a par 3. It's considered the greatest hole in golf.
You know, the only time I really knew about golf and knew a lot of names and players in golf was when I used to play Tiger Woods on the console.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a great game. It was a great game.
Awesome game.
Yeah.
Awesome game.
PGA 2K is the game to go through now. That's the best golf. It's PGA 2K.
EA Sports does, I think, the best golf myself, but yeah,
it's in the game.
It's in the
game. Yeah, there you go.
Although Madden has been a copy of each of itself the last few years.
Very good transition. You went to Madden, so
yeah, Madden has not changed. Madden has not changed. Anyway, before we get to Buffalo Bills propaganda, which John is so eager to get to, let me just close up my Masters talk by saying, again, congrats to Scotty Scheffler. Number 2, Cam Smith fell apart. He had a great round going, and until the 12th hole. And shout out to Mr. Rory Mcilroy.
Who?
Oh. Yeah, you know who Rory Mac. Come on,
that's a guy I know.
All right,
yeah,
Rory McIlroy.
He wound up on the cover of the golf game after.
Yes, Rory McIlroy shot a 64, which ties the lowest round ever on a final round at Augusta.
And what did he do the rest of the
He finished second place at 7 under. Okay. And the fun thing is, on number 18 at Augusta, there is a bunker. As you're looking at the green from the fairway, there's a bunker on the right-hand side of the green that's always a danger, okay? He and his playing partner, Colin Morikawa, were in that bunker on 18 as they were finishing up the round. Rory and Morikawa both hold their shots out of that bunker for birdies to finish their round. And if you get a chance, go find the video, watch it. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. And Rory, you know what? He played the best round of his life on Augusta National today. He's shooting a 64, which is 8 under par for those that don't know. Okay. Again, the lowest round ties the lowest round ever for a final round. And congrats to him. But that's where I'll end up. And again, Tiger was the most inspirational of the week because of what he accomplished. Even though he didn't play very well, he still managed to make it through the weekend, make the cut, make it through the weekend. And it was a great week. I enjoyed every bit of it. From the women's amateur on Saturday, the drive, chip, and putt on Sunday, and then Masters Week was just great. It's always great every year.
That's beautiful.
All right, and now, with that being said, and before he has to leave us, because I know John is going to be leaving us soon, Stefan Diggs signs a contract extension with the Buffalo Bills. And he says, it feels
so much
like
for being a diva.
You don't want to leave.
Yeah, so much for being a diva, right?
Right.
So much for being a prick. Like all the things and he addressed it in his press conference. He's like, a lot of people, most people thought I'd come here and I wouldn't be happy. Joke's on you.
I didn't want to feel left out. There we go.
There you go. You got to do it, dude. I don't know why he's wearing freaking hockey stuff. I mean, well,
that's because that's the only team that he can actually hang his hat on that it does anything.
True.
Correct.
True. Yeah, man. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy for Steph. All the chitter chatter on Twitter about he's not happy and this, that, and the third. It's all bull. I mean, him and Josh are best buds, and they're gonna go down in history as the greatest 1-2 combo in Bills history. I think they'll surpass Kelly and.
I'm glad he threw Bill's history in there.
Oh, yeah, Bill's history. Dude, I'm not
even better than Kelly and Reed.
But I'm not like an idiot.
Even better than Kelly and Reed.
Yeah, I think they'll be better than Kelly and Reed.
Wow.
I think when everything is said and done, they'll have a better career together.
That's a big take right there.
If they get one Super Bowl, they win, right?
Well, yeah, if they get one, sure.
Yeah.
But
he's already had 2,000-yard seasons in his first 2 years here. He's here for at least they're saying at least like they have an out after 2 years, but he's basically going to be here for 3-4 years guaranteed. So I'm happy. Now we got to deal with freaking Jordan Poyer and his wife on Twitter. That's the next drama with
What's that?
So we got to deal with Jordan Poyer and his wife on Twitter. So
is that anything like Patrick and Brittany Mahomes?
Well, Rachel Bush is Jordan Poyer's wife. Instagram model Rachel Bush. She's very vocal on Twitter, and she's always stood up for Jordan as a wife would for her husband, but says that he's criminally underpaid, and the tweet got deleted when Stefan signed the deal. She's like, "Oh, Steph had 2 years left. Jordan's only got 1 year left. How come they're not siding Jordan? He's the best safety in the league." And this, that. She deleted it pretty quick.
So basically, she's playing the role of Aisha Curry.
Exactly. And then it didn't help matters to stir the pot. Jordan hired Mr. Drew Rosenhaus as his representation.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
His agent is
now.
Yeah.
So, it's not going to be a team-friendly deal. It'll be a player-friendly deal if they read. So, Jordan, they said sign him for 2 years, man. He's all pro, man. Like, I'm a massive Jordan Poyer. I'm a bigger Micah Hyde fan, but I'm a massive Jordan Poyer fan. Trey White is hurt, so you're going to need safety. We don't have a CB2, so we're going to need safety help. And so even if you draft a rookie, there's no guarantee he fits in. Pay the guys. But we don't have a lot of money. I think we got $6 million in cap now.
You guys blown quite a while in two players, basically.
Yeah. But they're all team-friendly deals. Like the way that it's structured, it's all front-loaded bonuses, and they stretch it out for the 6 years for both Vaughn and for Steph, and it's definitely team-friendly. Like these guys want to be in Buffalo, right? That's the difference now. Like you look at the Jacksonville Jaguar situation, you have to overpay these guys because no one wants to go play in Jacksonville.
No.
So you gotta pay Christian Kirk, and you gotta pay freaking Zay Jones.
Christian Kirk.
$20 million a year, right? Like he's getting basically what Steph Diggs is getting, give or take $1 million or so a year.
And that's basically what they said about his contract wrecked the wide receiver.
Yeah.
The whole wide receiver thing and market.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
but look at it this way.
Right in there. Drop the bomb right in the middle of it.
The Steph Diggs contract, if you look at it, Tyreek Hill's getting $30 million a year. Devontae Adams getting $28 million a year. Steph is around 2021. That's a freaking steal for a guy of Steph's caliber when you think of all the other guys that are about to get paydays.
Right.
So that's why it was a team-friendly deal. Steph's happy. He wants to retire a bill. Everything's working out beautiful. But now we got to deal with Jordan Poyer and his wife on Twitter. Not Jordan, because Jordan doesn't say a word. Jordan's, team, but Rachel's kind of a little – she's –
the whack job.
No, she's
I don't think she's Brittany Mahomes.
No, she's not like that.
That's a whack job.
Yeah, she ain't crazy like that. Like but she was very,
she's more like Mrs. Baker Mayfield, basically, is what she is.
Well, she did the whole anti-vax thing, and that pissed off some of Bill's Mafia. And then it was like, and so she's got this love-hate, like, with Bill's Mafia. Like, some people love her, other people are just like, oh my gosh, like, just So it sucks, man. I think they'll get it done because Jordan he's all pro, man. He's one of the best safeties in the league. So get it done. But I don't know. We'll see.
So you're
That's
happy.
my Bills propaganda for the day. Thank you for listening.
So you're happy with the signing, with the extension.
I'm very happy. Yes.
Moving on, something that we don't talk very much about on this show is the NBA. Despite the fact that Mr. John Olsen is a huge,
I want to talk about the
NBA fan.
I want to talk about the biggest bust in NBA history: the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Los Angeles Lakers.
I just changed my hat so we can talk
they're officially the Los Angeles Lookers now.
Yes, LA was eliminated from playoff contention earlier this week. And I love the meme that you posted, Eliot, about how, quote, but they're too old. Yeah, well, look at the Bulls back.
Exactly. The Bulls.
I saw this great thing on social media. It was about Jordan and the Bulls compared to like LeBron and this. So Jordan hated everyone.
Yes.
And everyone knew that Jordan hated them, but they played along because Jordan was like, let's win championships.
Correct.
LeBron is, I love this person. I love that person. I don't care about winning just as long as I get to play with my buddies. Right?
And that's what's cost him his career.
Completely different. That's why there'll always be Jordan. And I know everyone's doing LeBron versus Jordan. It'll always be Jordan.
Always.
Regardless of how much he's loved or hated. That's the point.
Yes.
The point is that people hated the players. He hated everyone. People hated playing with him, but they played with him because he won. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Anyway, the play-in tournament, which is an abomination in my opinion.
I agree. It's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah. First of all, the Pelicans face the Spurs.
Right.
And this happens on Tuesday, by the way.
That's one game, right? Or
the play-in game. Yes, the play-in tournament. You have the Pelicans facing the Spurs, and you have Minnesota facing the Clippers.
All right, there we go.
Nice.
Blank. Nice. Now, what's weird about this play-in tournament is that even if the loser of 7-8 matchup, which is Minnesota Lakers or Minnesota Clippers.
Lakers works. Minnesota Lakers. Look at you showing your age.
Yeah. Even the loser of that game gets to play another game.
Yeah.
Abomination.
They got to play the 7-8. They got to play the 7-8.
They play the 9-10 winner, which is between the Pelicans and the Spurs.
Right.
Okay. And in the Eastern Conference, you've got Atlanta and Charlotte in the 9-10 game. And you've got Brooklyn and the Cleveland Cavaliers playing in the
Go Cleveland.
Yeah,
Go Cleveland.
Go Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see the Nets win. Nobody wants to see Brooklyn win that
Especially
game.
not these fans right here.
Yes. Well, even if they do lose that game,
they get to play again.
They get to play again. Whoever wins the Atlanta-Charlotte game. And again, even if Brooklyn loses, we still don't want them to win the next game either. Okay?
But if they lose, they'll have to play on the road.
Yes. Well, the Cavs are playing in Brooklyn.
Right. But I'm saying if Brooklyn loses, because if they win, they still would be the lower seed going into the second game.
Exactly. Yeah, the 7 seed, whoever wins the Brooklyn Cleveland game is the 7 seed, and they would face Milwaukee in the first round.
Milwaukee.
Yes.
Oof, that's the team you don't want to face.
Correct.
Nah, this is the team you don't want to face, baby. Right here. The most slept on team all year. 2 years we've been slept on.
5 seed. Toronto is the 5 seed in the East.
We're either playing Philly or Boston. Let's get it.
You are playing Philadelphia.
Are we playing Philly? Let's get it. Let's make Joel Embiid cry again.
That's going to be a series.
Hell yeah, it is. Watch Scotty just defend the crap out of his ass. Let's go. We're not supposed to win.
Ain't that the guy that you bitched about them drafting that?
Oh, I didn't know anything, but dude, you know how much I follow college sports. Like I'm Mr. College Sports.
But you had somebody else in mind, and they drafted.
Well, I didn't know. I had no idea. I was like, dude, I don't know. I mean, like Masai knows what he's doing. He's won a championship for us already. He's the mind, the great mind.
You're right. That's why you can't really, if you don't follow the game, the college part. You can't really make that kind of statement because it can blow up in your face, just like but yours it would turn out to be a positive thing. Unlike Scott when he was crying about Baker Mayfield being drafted number 1.
I did cry. I was pissed off. I didn't want him.
And then eventually those tears were justified.
Well, Bill, that's Canada for you. I know I'm not a fan of that.
Can't play in Toronto, so yeah.
I think it's stupidity. I think it's dumb. I think the Canadian. I better not say anything
New
bad
York
about
City
Canadian
did. They freaking rescinded their mandate in New York City.
They didn't rescind that. No, they're saying that you got to be vaccinated coming across the border because apparently that's going to stop COVID. Apparently, that's the rumor. You got to be 15 times boosted or something. You got to have a date with the prime minister to be able to get into this country now. Apparently, I don't know what it is. So yeah, it's stupidity. It's stupid. Jaylen Brown should be playing. If we play Boston, by all means. I mean, that's. I hate that. I think it's dumb. But again, it's the rules. The rules. Just getting good, but
I know John's answer to this question, but I'm going to ask.
Yes,
who's the best team in the NBA right now? Who do you think is the best team?
Milwaukee.
You think it's still the Bucks, the defending champs?
Well, they're the champions. You can't down the champions. And when you got Antetokounmpo and the gunners that they have,
Giannis is amazing. Giannis is a freak, the Greek freak, no doubt. He's amazing. Yeah. He's the best player in the league.
My dark horse in the playoffs actually is Memphis. I love the way
Ja Morant
is just a friggin'.
But you know what? They've actually done better without Ja Morant.
I noticed that. Yes, I did see that actually. But Ja Morant is a fucking freak show, guys. He really is.
Dude. He is.
You see his hops, man. Like when he goes up, dude.
Did you see that one?
He blocked shots too.
He literally looks like he's getting thrown up in the air by someone.
Did you see that one play from a few weeks ago when they threw the ball from one end of the court, an out of bounds play, all the way to the other end of the court? I would think there was like 0.4 seconds left on the clock, and he went up, grabbed the pass, and just released, and the ball went in.
Yes.
To end the quarter.
Yes.
That was ridiculous.
The dude's a freak show.
But then
I love watching Ja Morant.
I hate to be that guy, but I got to take off.
All right. Well, that's all right. That's all right.
You guys enjoy the rest of the show. Please enjoy it. Talk anything but freaking golf again.
And golf is done. We're done.
Yeah. Okay.
We're done with golf.
I love you all. I will be here for the full thing next week.
I think if Ken were here, we'd be still talking golf, but that's okay. Ken, I appreciate you, but that's all right.
Well,
I said my piece about golf and did my homage to Tiger Woods and his stellar performance. Anyway, John, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you next week.
Later, John.
Let me change this way this looks. There we go. That's better.
All right. Now we have the what do you call it? What's that show on ESPN?
What? You mean with Stephen A. Smith or?
No. The other one. Around the horn.
Around the horn. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't like this view because it gets a close up of my face, and that's not really any good.
This view?
Huh? This view
covers your face?
Too close to my face, yes.
Oh, because of the camera. Okay.
The way the camera is, yes.
Well, what's wrong with that, man?
My face is. I have a great face for radio. I'm just saying. So you think Milwaukee's still a team to beat in the NBA, Eliot?
I think that Milwaukee. Look, as long as you're the champion, you're the team to beat, and that's the way I see it. Unless you just totally have a total meltdown the following season. If you're the defending champion, you are the team to beat, and it's going to be interesting because you know what? It's not going to be easy for them. Okay, by any means.
The Eastern Conference is probably the best of the two conferences at this point, I think.
Look, the Eastern Conference right now is the equivalent of the AFC in football.
Football, yeah.
Okay, the better conference all the way around. I mean, because you look at what did San Antonio make the playoffs with, like 12 games under 500 or some shit like that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember before when in the past when it used to be if any teams under 500 made it, it was a disaster or a catastrophe, But I know now with the 10 teams, the extra teams and stuff like that, you're going to wind
Plus
up
the play-in tournament, which is an abomination. We both agree on that. I think it's bullshit.
Well, it's kind of like I think
It's kind of like a play-in game for the wild card too. I mean, baseball.
Yeah, baseball's done their part to expand everything beyond, reality when it comes to the playoffs, because now they're going to have like 20 teams.
It's a 2 out of 3 series for wild cards because they've expanded, I think, to 12 teams.
By the way, speaking of the Memphis Grizzlies, they're down 72-49 at the half at home against Boston.
They're not playing their starters, I don't think.
72.
I mean, the play-in starts in 2 days, so it's the last game.
Yeah. No, I get it. Is George Mikan still playing?
I don't know who that is.
George Mikan of the Minneapolis Lakers.
Okay.
No, he quit playing before they went to LA, right?
Yeah. Brett's not here, which is surprising.
Was he here last week? Because he wasn't here the week before.
He was here last week for a little bit. Yeah. He posted a question in our group on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Whether Aaron Judge is going to be a part of the Yankees moving forward. He was supposed to. The Yankees tried to sign him to an extension before the start of the season. Pretty hefty extension too. Huh?
A pretty hefty extension.
Yeah, the Yankees offered a pretty good deal. And he turned it down.
7 years. I think it was upwards of $215 million or something
like $31 or $32 million a year or something like that.
Yeah.
He turned it down.
But here it is. And this is, my sister had made a comment about, good riddance if he leaves and so on and so forth. And honestly, I can't argue with that too much, because bottom line is that, and this is the strike the lockout basically, basically put a exclamation point on this. And it's that the greed between owners and players and so on and so forth has made the game such where fans don't matter anymore. And for all the support and love that Aaron Judge gets from Yankee fans and the Yankees in general, for him to turn down that type of a deal, I mean, that's just greed. To me, that's just greed. He wants to put himself out there for one more year. He's to answer the question, he's going to play for at least one more year in New York.
Right.
All right. But the bottom line is that it's all about money anymore. And that kind of diminishes, as far as I'm concerned, and some other people I know, it diminishes the attraction of the game itself. Because I'm not thrilled with baseball. I've kind of casually kept an eye on the Yankees Red Sox games, the first 2 games. I wasn't there watching.
And they're playing the 3rd game of the series tonight, by the way.
Yeah, Boston's up 2-1 right now in the 3rd inning. Yankees have a 1st and 2nd with 1 out and Gleyber Torres at the plate.
Right.
But anyway, I haven't been listening. It's been on mute the whole time. I just kind of tune in whenever I'm not doing something else, just to see what the score is and whatnot. The firm of Rizzo and Stanton has been on display the first 2 games.
Right.
But again,
won yesterday.
But again, it all comes down to the fact that money. And while there are people in the world right now, especially in this country, okay, that are struggling to even find a decent place to live at a decent price. You know what I'm saying? People are getting priced out of homes, priced out of apartments.
Well, rents are going up 10 to 20% every year. And people, I mean, even my rent went up. When my rent went,
And you're fucking quibbling over.
right. My rent went
couple
up. What was it? My rent went up almost 70. Went up like $75 a month from last year to this year. Okay,
I've been kind of lucky
and that's
because
a 10% increase.
yeah, we've
from where
lived
it
in
was.
this house since for 10 years, over 10 years now.
You're renting?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've rented for over 10 years. Never missed a payment, always on time. You know, and that's probably why the landlord doesn't stick us with. And we've been, as a matter of fact, we've been on a month to month since after the first year.
Okay.
Okay. So we're not even in a technical lease, but you know, when we first came here, the cost was $745, and after 10 years, it's $935. And
That's not bad though for 10 years. It's not bad.
No. I mean, a little under $200 over 10 years. You know, that's cool. And you know, somebody like Crystal was saying, she's like, well, it's a good thing that we have the landlord that we have. And I don't know why he has it, because there's landlords out there that are raising their rent like 20, 30, 40%.
Right.
You know, just like that, pricing people out, and people have to actually leave their homes.
And they only get like a 30-day notice. This is what the rent's gonna be. You know, it's crazy.
And so I feel fortunate, and I think it's the longevity of it all. We've been with our landlord for 10 years. He knows that his house is in good hands. We're not doing anything to destroy it, or
right.
You know, so on and so forth. Honestly, if we moved, he'd probably double the rent on this place, because that's what the market calls for.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate too with my property manager. I mean, my rent's only gone up twice since I moved in 6 years ago.
Yeah, ours has only gone up 4 times, and it was like $40 a clip, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, last year it went up, and then this year.
I hope my landlord's not watching this.
Right. No, and last year was the first time I'd seen an increase in rent since I moved in, and we had another increase this year. So I mean, I'm concerned, but
it hasn't been an obscene increase.
The place I'm living in, for what I've got, I can't find I can't find something that's cheaper than what I'm paying.
No, like I said, right now, dude, Crystal looks through rentals and stuff. Dude, they're charging $2,000 a month for a freaking closet these days.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You know,
the Florida real estate market is going crazy.
3-bedroom, 2-bath. I've seen prices in the $3,000, $3,500 range.
Yeah,
you know, it's ridiculous.
Shauna and I, before we divorced, and this was back in 2000 and I want to say 2009, 2010. We had a 3-bedroom house that we were renting, and we paid $1,200 a month for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is a 3-bedroom. Well, actually, technically, it's a 2-bedroom. This room that I'm in is not considered a bedroom. It was an addition, but I guess according to Florida, and I don't know if this is outside of Florida or whatever, but you can't call a bedroom if it doesn't have a closet.
Okay.
And that's basically the way they classify it here. So this is technically a 2-bedroom, 1-bath with an addition. Although when he advertised it as 3 bedrooms.
Right.
And it's fine. I mean, this room is small, very small. I mean, I'm kind of cramped in here, but I've been in this room for like the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've changed it. I just changed it recently because of a bee situation.
The bee situation, right? I remember that.
And but again, I work with the room that I have, but like I said, here's the thing: I cannot see us going anywhere under the current market for rentals or even home ownership.
Right.
I seen a house is right down the road, and I live in the ghetto. Let's put it that way. Okay. This is the ghetto here. There's a Salvation Army down the street where bums and all that hang out, transient people, and they're constantly walking back and forth, right across the
Clark,
front.
you don't count the Cavaliers out. The Nets may just not make the first round of the playoffs. So just saying. Go ahead.
And but it's like I've seen this one house. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. All right. And it's on a main strip, which is 17th Avenue West. All right. And it's right across the street from a canal, which smells like holy freaking hell. Okay. Seriously, every time I drive by there, sometimes I'll forget to close the sunroof, or I'll leave the external circulation of air going. And I'll drive by there and
is it like a sulfur smell?
It's nasty. It smells like dirty ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like somebody who hasn't washed their ass in a century. And they're actually asking $300,000 for that fucking house.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, what the fuck? And then there's people and you know what? The big thing is like, I think Canada's doing this. They're stopping in people from outside the country from buying real estate.
Canada is, yes. There was, I think Montreal or I think it was Montreal that or Toronto, one of the two.
And I think that's what they should do here. Don't allow, because foreigners are buying up real estate here, and then they're fucking hiking all the fucking prices.
Yeah.
They don't even live here, and they're fucking us.
Right. Just a side note, going back to Major League Baseball. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred, who we all love to hate,
loser,
gifted Major League players Bose headphones on opening day as a peace offering after a bitter 99-day lockout that delayed the start of the season.
Bose headphones, really? These guys make multi-million dollars, and you're give me a fuck. Some of these players can own Bose, okay? The company itself, okay? That's fucking ridiculous. How come he isn't sending the fans Bose who had to put up with this fucking garbage?
Yeah, Major League Baseball confirmed that headphones and a letter signed by Manfred were left at the locker of each player when teams began their seasons Thursday and Friday.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the ones that have Beats threw those fucking Bose out the window.
The letter says, please accept this gift as a small gesture of my appreciation.
Very small, minute gesture.
Right. My small gesture of my appreciation for the hard work that comes with being a major leaguer and your respect for our incredible fans. Thank you for everything you do in a game that has such a rich history and deep meaning to our fans in the U.S. and around the world.
Emphasis
Wishing you the best of luck for a successful season.
Emphasis on rich.
You know what? He is so far out of touch
with reality, period.
Exactly.
Not even baseball. He's out of touch with reality.
Correct.
This guy's a total moron, a major blemish on baseball, a major blemish on
Peter
sports.
Ueberroth is rolling over in his grave as we speak.
Dude, Giamatti is rolling in his grave.
Yeah.
Okay. All of them, dude. Even Bud Selig was a better fucking commissioner than this guy.
Yeah. Yes.
And Selig was a freaking moron.
Yes.
You know?
That's like when Clarky says, that's like when the New York Giants gave away free Coke.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, not the white stuff at a game last year.
When they did, and not even the white stuff that used to have Coke in it either. I mean, yeah, real Coke.
Oh Jesus, baseball. I mean, this lockout was such a freaking disaster, dude.
Yeah, it's a laughing stock, dude. It's a total laughing stock, and unfortunately, and then the thing is that you know what, all this and that and everything that got settled, the typical fan cannot go to games because it's just
too expensive.
Outrageous. It's outrageous.
You know, and I made a post earlier this week about how I have decided not to follow the Guardians this year. I refuse.
Yeah,
I'm going to get to this. I'm going to get to the whole thing. I refuse to follow the Guardians based on the Dolans owning the franchise and not spending money and not looking in that and not putting a winner on the field. Well, I said that, and not 2 days later, they signed Rodriguez to a major deal.
Rodriguez.
Okay.
You mean Ramirez?
Ramirez. I'm sorry, Ramirez to a major extension. And I got called out to the turf by Katie, no more than Katie.
Katie Marshall?
Katie Marshall. She called me a hypocrite.
Isn't she a Boston fan?
No. She called me a hypocrite because of my fandom with the Browns and refused to disown the Browns because of the Deshaun Watson issue, but yet I'm going to disown the Guardians over the whole Dolan issue. And she does have a point. I will admit that. Katie is smarter than me, and she knows more about sports than I do because she studies it better than I do. Unfortunately, I'm afraid to admit that, but that's the truth. Katie is family. I love her to death, and she has a point.
Oh, we butted heads before, me and Katie.
You and Katie have butted heads several times. And to be honest, she has left the Facebook group because of those face-offs. Just to let you know that.
I didn't even remember when was the last time I had a face-off with her.
But that's her choice, and I respect that, and she respects me, and she didn't want to because she has an issue with you, and that's fine, and that's all well and good. And she doesn't want to get in the middle between you and I because she has that much respect for me, and I love her for it. But that's not the discussion I want to have.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, yes.
Again, because I don't even remember. See, that's the thing. I don't even remember what we were beefing about.
I'd have to go back and look at it. It was pretty weird.
It's like, you see, that's why I don't. How should I say? I get into these skirmishes or back and forths in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. But as time passes, it's like, what was that all about? I didn't even remember what we were talking about or discussing or this, that, or the other. You know what? It totally escapes me. I have no idea. And if I offended her in any way, shape, or form, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that wasn't my intent.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not going to sit back and let somebody bash on me.
Right. I got you.
Without lobbing back a few
right.
shots.
And you know what? That's just you being you. That's part of who you are. And that's
well, obviously that's her being her because
Correct.
she was lobbying back just as much as I was.
He has a broken off contact. I mean, we talk almost nightly on Messenger. So
hey, listen, you know what? If you talk to her again, tell her I wholeheartedly apologize for whatever it was that we were, beefing about.
Right.
And I don't have anything against Katie. I mean, she's a knowledgeable person. I get that.
Yeah.
I still don't. Because I call baseball un-American. That's why.
Yes.
That was the whole thing.
Something like that. Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, that was the heat of the moment about what I felt in that time about baseball.
Right.
And I still am not advocating or even considering devoting any significant time to baseball.
Well, I'm not either.
I get where she's coming from with the un-American thing. Because America, America's pastime and all that.
Well, right now the NFL is.
But you know what?
But
the MLB, Major League Baseball has not been a league where you can hang your hat on and have respect for, for basically decades. Ever since
it's the steroid era.
Well, no. Ever since the 94
strike.
Yeah, the strike that ended an entire season. Okay. I mean, to me, that was the tipping point as far as baseball taking a slippery slope and sliding all the way down and then continuing to do so. But now it's more on a monetary basis. And unfortunately, as an old school fan, because, hey, I'm 60 freaking years old. Okay. When I was around, when I was around, baseball was a game that was played for the love of the game.
Good point, Clarky. Baseball, America's pastime. Football, America's passion. There you go. That's good.
America's present time, because pastime, baseball for what it was is a thing of the past. And I guess I didn't make the statement. See, what got me about the whole back and forth with Katie was that she took the statement personally. It felt to me like she took it personally. And that's not what my intent was. At the moment, I felt it was totally un-American that baseball would take the stand that it did on both sides, right, players and owners, in order to screw the fans that tune in, the fans that support them. I don't know how much Yankee memorabilia I have, how much baseball I've watched in my lifetime.
You got a Darth Vader mask with a New York logo behind you on your wall, for God's sake.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that in the heat of that moment, I considered baseball to be un-American. Again, she took it personally, and, she lobbed a couple of insults in there, which, I took as such.
And you lobbed insults back at her.
And I lobbed insults back. Well, but that's who I am.
Yes.
You don't try to throw darts at me and not expect to get hit in the head right back.
Yeah, well, and again, I respect the both of you, because Eliot, you bring a lot of good content to this show, and
I got no disrespect for Katie whatsoever. And like I said, if an apology might help bring her back into the fold, great. You know what I'm saying?
That's on her. I mean, again,
it's on her, right?
Yeah, it is on her at this point.
But extend that on my behalf.
I will extend that apology to her. I'll ask her to actually watch the replay of the show if she so desires as well.
Yeah, because it's never a good thing when you have
good content,
especially with the few followers that we have. Okay, it's never good to lose any of them.
I know.
And the thing is that you start to miss them. Like if I don't see
miss her on the show,
I don't see Clarky's name in the feed,
yeah.
If I don't see Brett's name in the feed, I'm like, what the fuck did we do?
I know, right?
What do we need to do to change that? And the fact that I haven't seen Katie, and I had no clue whatsoever that she stepped away from the group itself. Yeah. Like I said, to me, it was water under the bridge a few days after, or at least the next day, I can honestly say.
Yeah.
Because, again, it was heat of the moment. And heat of the moment tends to bring out statements that, are regrettable.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have to be a lifetime ban, so to speak.
Well, it's her choice, and I respect her.
Yeah, it is her choice, and I respect that too.
And I said, you know what, Eliot is who he is. But
I know how to be contrite as well.
You're getting lonely. Clarky's like, I'm getting awful lonely here. Yeah, I know, Clarky. I know.
I feel a bit, I can also be a contrite person and understand that, hey, I understand that maybe the conversation went a little out of bounds and astray and all that. But when you got two strong-headed individuals that stand their ground and dig their heels in on a certain thing, especially when there's not so positive comments coming back and forth
between Yankee fans and Red Sox fan. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, she's a Red Sox fan. I know that. And it gives me no less pleasure to dig on her because of that.
Right. You know what? And you know what? To be forthright, I've known Katie for over 20 years. I've known her since she was in college, and she's now a grown-ass woman in her 40s, or she is 40. And I have grown to be very fond of her, like a little sister.
Again, I don't know Katie personally,
right?
So
she is family, and if someone in my family is upset, I get little.
I don't blame you, Scott.
It gets emotional for me too, and
I get that.
And and with you and her, I'm with you in a rock and a hard place. Basically, I am in the middle because I care about both of you very strongly.
Look,
you know that.
as far as on my end, you have no reason to feel like you're between a rock and a hard place, because I don't. Your relationship with Katie really has nothing to do with what happened in that one instant.
Between you and her.
Yeah, no. And it was like, but again, the statement I made was a general statement. It got under her skin,
right,
and forced her to kind of sort of attack me about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, she did put an LOL in there, but that's okay. I understand. I know.
I'm just saying it could have probably been handled better, but
right.
Again, heat of the moment. I didn't like the whole baseball situation, and she didn't like the fact that I called baseball un-American. So, okay, I get that, but to me, it's not one of those things where I say, "Oh, well, if Scott likes Katie and he's gonna stick up for her," no, she's your friend. You know what I'm saying? There's friends of yours that over time I really didn't care for. But you know what? I don't. Well, I mean, come on. Bob Arnold just
even I don't like Bob Arnold anymore. Okay. So I mean, come on.
First and foremost on the list, that
Arnie's number one on the top of the list. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Because he would have conversations about how people are sucking the money out of this country with Social Security and blah blah blah. Well, you know what? Some people like me have no choice because I can't be gainfully employed.
Because
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm ill, and I've been out of work for 15 years, and if it wasn't because of the
MS, diabetes,
and don't get me wrong, because I'm sorry, but Arnie needs to understand that it's peanuts that we get.
Yeah,
and on top of that, we have no ability to even make much above that if we wanted to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to me, the whole thing was medical. It's not.
And for those that don't know, Arnie is one of the original members of the Sports Nerds. I mean, he.
That's when the Sports Nerds was rated a strong R.
Yes, it was. He and I, Bob.
He had no filter.
He and I, Bob, and Scooter created the Sports Nerds.
I still remember the first show I tuned into. You guys were talking about bootleg whiskey and distillery.
We talked a lot of NASCAR back in the day. Let me tell you.
NASCAR too.
We talked a lot of NASCAR back in the day. Yes, we did when this show first started.
And then when you came over to Sports World Radio,
God, you got to remember that. You got to mention that shit.
Well, you know what? If you didn't come over to Sports World Radio, I probably wouldn't be on this show today.
You're correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because me and you forged a bond.
Yes.
During that time.
Yes.
Because we had an animus.
We have to thank Jeff for us meeting up.
We had an animus about the host of the show, who really, honestly, and I was talking to my cousin Aaron, who spent quite a bit of time tuned in at Sports World Radio, and Aaron's
not Aaron. Aaron's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I built my PC.
He's not a sports guy.
No.
By any stretch. Okay. But the one thing that he did say that made total sense to me, and he understood why it was that eventually we wound up breaking off, and I wound up joining you.
We broke off because you and I canceled a show, and he was pissed off about it. Remember that?
No, he wasn't pissed off about that. He was looking for an excuse to get out.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was. Look, Jeff, for the longest time, was looking for ways to get out. You know why? Because it seemed like the show only had its popularity because I was running it.
Well, yeah, you were the executive producer.
Yeah, I was doing everything. I was doing all the work. 5 days a week. You can count on me to have all the stories lined up, all the this, that, and the other. Not just that, but another statement Aaron made is that Jeff didn't even contribute to the show.
No, he didn't. You're right. He didn't. No,
he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He didn't know shit about sports, really.
The content was brought by you and I, whoever.
He was shocked. He was a shock jock.
It was you and I. It was you and I, then Ron Gallo, and Derek Laughlin. That was
right. And you know what? I'll give it to him on that because he's the one. He's the one that brought Gallo and Laughlin
and Lance
into our orbit.
Yeah.
Lance didn't spend enough time with me for me to really consider him an intricate part. I mean, he did make contributions when it came to
Lance
baseball.
Is a good follow on Twitter because
he knew his baseball. I mean, inside
Lance
out,
knows baseball
down.
more than you and I combined. I mean, the kid is phenomenal.
He is, and that's probably why he's probably doing
moved
really
on
well
to bigger
right
and better things. If you were to use Twitter, you could follow him, and he's moved on to bigger and better things. He's getting
Lance Fairchild, by the way. Follow him if you must. But
yes.
The man definitely knows his stuff, and
yes, he does,
and whatnot. But again, getting back to the Jeff thing, Jeff would show up, and the thing is that when he had the show previously to me joining, he had two other guys that were doing the show with him, but he was the alpha in that show. He was the alpha male. He was the one that controlled everything. And the other two acquiesced.
When you came in, you matched up with him as on an even level.
No, I wouldn't put up with his shit. That's the problem. Yeah. How many times that the altercation you and I had on the air a couple of weeks back?
Yes, I know.
We used to do that shit every fucking night.
Right.
Okay. Me and Jeff would go at it. The only difference is that afterwards, Jeff went, "Oh, that was cool, man. Like we had rehearsed it or something."
Yeah.
I don't know. Remember the couple of times that I freaking lit into him and he totally just shut the show down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I was gaining more popularity than him. People were looking more to me. Like he saw a relationship building, a strong relationship with me and Ron and me and Derek, because I could have these conversations with these guys.
Right.
I could have the intelligible conversation with Derek about fantasy football.
Right.
I could have the conversation with Ron about hockey, even though I don't follow hockey. But you know what? I'm knowledgeable enough and I follow certain things enough to where I can carry on that. If you'll notice, all Jeff did throughout the whole fucking show was smoke and just sit there. Yeah. He really didn't contribute.
I know. We were there for a lot of months, and I was like, what does this guy do? What does he know?
The only thing
all I knew is he was a Chargers fan. That's all I knew.
No, he was a Giants fan.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, he lived in San Diego.
Yeah.
But he was a Giants fan, just like he was a Yankees fan. Okay, he's from New York.
Right.
And he's one of these Italians. Actually, I think, is he Italian or was he Jewish?
Esco. I don't know. What is that?
I don't know. Whatever. All I'm saying is that
Italian or Jewish, but that's okay.
All I'm saying is that his show shifted from casual talk and letting the other two who kind of followed him like puppy dogs. And once I came in and I took over, basically, because the show was floundering.
Yeah.
And again, I started building strong relationship with Derek and Ron. And as you can see, those relationships carried
over to this show.
Exactly. Because it don't matter how many people we get. Ron will show up every year for hockey talk during the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And Derek the other day reached out to us.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And it wasn't because he was expecting a live audience of a major audience or anything, but he missed the time. He missed talking football. Yeah. He missed talking with us about football.
Yes.
And to me, that's gratifying because, like I said, it only bolsters the fact that nobody was there in Sports World Radio for Jeff. Okay. Right. They were there for you and I and the people that made the show what it was.
Right. Agreed.
It was like, the whole idea with the banners behind us. That was my idea. I'm the one that had he sent me his money, but I'm the one that had the banners made and I had his shipped out. You know what I'm saying?
And you've made my logo. You've made the banner for this show. You've done all the artwork for this show. And
I try to be as how should I say, as productive as possible. It does. I mean, I don't make nothing doing it. It's just
Right,
it's
neither do I.
fun, and I got the time. That's the whole thing. I've got the time.
Right. Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Sports Ball Radio was great while it lasted. But again, I think in the end, Jeff got burned out. He was no longer in control of his own show.
Jamal's here.
And the minute that we didn't, the minute that we didn't show up for that one show, he saw his chance to bow out.
And that's when the Sports Nerds was reborn, because you and I put our heads together.
So, yeah.
Together. Let's get the game.
You invited me along. You're like, hey, why don't you come to my show and
that's when I brought in John and Scooter to start to reboot the Sports Nerds.
Scooter and then Bob and
then now Ken.
Yeah, well, Ken was probably the most level-headed of the three. So
yeah,
or is the most level-headed.
I reached out to Scooter. He hasn't replied back to me, but that's
no. Scooter hasn't gotten back to anybody.
Yeah,
he's still active. He's still active. You can see a transmission of his every now and then, but and Bob just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
But again, I think Bob's biggest problem was me.
Well, you know what? Bob took Rhonda's death pretty hard too. Okay, to be honest.
Yeah.
He took Rhonda's death pretty hard, I think what my thinking is that he has decided to move on and remove himself from everything that reminds him
of
Rhonda, including me.
Maybe I shouldn't have put that memorial thing in the banner.
I don't know, but I think Bob has moved on and wants to just.
But Scooter, I don't get him at all. I don't understand that one.
I wish you'd come back, because I miss Scooter. I miss his talk.
So do I, man. I miss him. I mean, he was fun. He was funny. You know,
he was drunk a lot, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, but that's how he got along. Just like Jeff was part of the attraction. Jeff was a better person when he was getting high for real. When he when he was growing his freaking pop plant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
During the time of the show when I first met him, he was fucking growing a weed in his room there in his garage. And but yeah, no, Scooter was great. I'm befuddled by why he left, but people do what they do, and like I said, I'm really still taken aback by the fact that Katie left. Okay, and I really would like you to lobby for her to come back.
I will,
and just explain to her I am who I am. And
again, I'll have her listen to the show and have her ever watch the replay.
I'm not a cold-hearted, mean, vindictive person. That's not who I am. But I will go to battle with you in the heat of a moment.
I know that we just did that 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I know exactly how that is. Exactly. And the thing is, I won't take it personal. And you know what? We're still good friends. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we always will be.
Yep. All right, we're going to close it up, Eliot.
Oh, wow. Really? Already?
It's almost 10 o'clock. Yes, absolutely. We managed to do a whole
for a show we didn't think was going to last.
I know, right? Because John left. That's all right.
You've been proven wrong again. Anything is possible.
Right.
We can make it happen in 90 minutes. Right.
We did a little retrospective on our past, and did a little reach out and little virtual man hug, and we're all good to go. Anyway,
we filled in the lack of sports with plenty of content, real life content.
Correct. All right, guys. Clarky and Jamal, thanks for hanging out, guys. We appreciate
no doubt.
We really appreciate you guys. And
Chris too. Chris, the guy that joined in the beginning.
Oh yeah, Chris was here in the beginning. Correct. Yes, Chris was here in the beginning. Yes, correct.
All 3 of you get a gold star. This week.
Correct for hanging out with us for 90 minutes.
We're gonna hang a gold star on that one.
Right. All right. On behalf of my co-host, Mr. Eliot Big E Lamba,
that's me, and
our host and one of our co-hosts that left early, Mr. John G. Olson. We are the Sports Nerds. We are here every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. And we appreciate if anybody would share.
I want
cash.
Hey, I got some. What's your address? I got some Monopoly money left.
Get the word out for us, guys. Let's get some advertising. I'm going to start ramping up my advertising. Believe it or not, whether I say it or not, I'm going to make it happen. Eliot's laughing at me because he doesn't believe me for 1 second, but that's okay. Anyway,
I'm sure I'll see the Loch Ness monster before that.
Correct. You'll see the lockdown. Yeah. Okay. With that being said, we are out for another week. We'll be back again next Sunday night at 7:30. And Eliot, please play the outro. I can't hear it. It's not playing.
It should be. Oh, I know why. Hang on. Don't give up on me yet.
You gotta love the technical difficulties we have on every week.
Well, no, it's just I muted the computer so that way any stray audio that might have come in while I was looking on sites
Gotcha.
Didn't interfere.
So restart it and let's get going.
But here we go. Adios, everybody.
3, 2, 1.
That's the intro.
You know, it does that to me. It does that to me every single
That's
week.
The intro, Eliot.
Oh, no. I know. Watch. I'm going to stop it. And here's what I got to actually do when I do this. All right.
I love it.
I actually got to.
3, 2.
That's the intro.
The outro just ain't loading.
That's the
Welcome,
intro.
sports fans, to the latest hang on. Production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. Let me stop. Let me see. I know I can do this. Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation.
There we go.
The Sports Nerd Show in the books. Don't give up on me yet. Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? John Olson, Ken Koslow, 2 of our level members in the brand pack, and yes, me, Big E. The entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we want to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for heaven's sake, please wear a blessed mask.
John's not here to hear that.
With a pack rant from the Rank Pack. And with that, fellas, we are out.